Yep, when you get that invite to play poker, you show up. That's just what you do. It's only been a few weeks since our last visit here, and the past few months it's been a reoccurring thing every 2 weeks. I think I might just have to put it in the calendar permanently and make it a habit. Who knows? But for this one, it was a little more private than the others. It was with real players who play a little more than just recreationally. So let's get started on this little bit of a cooler Friday night. Everybody was familiar with each other. I played against all these players at least once at some point in the past, so a little history between all of us, and gotta keep that in mind as we go through each hand. We start the night with $800 in front of us, because that was give or take the largest stack at the table, so I wanted to match and recover. The first hand we're going to go over, we look down at a suited ace. We open to $20. The cutoff folds, but one by one, the button, small blind, and big blind come along. So not really the most ideal situation going multi-way. We're going to have to tread cautiously on this one. The flop comes queen 8-6 rainbow. Not much going for us, and with all these players, it's hard to get rid of all of them with just one c-bet. It checks to us, and instead of throwing out a c-bet just into the abyss, we check and get to see a free card because the button checks as well. The turn comes, it hits us, we make a baby pair. I still don't think we're ahead though. We delay c-bet $25. It doesn't seem to work because they all call. Uh-oh, probably gonna shut this one down. But the river comes, a decent card for us. It doesn't hit us, but at least a card that we can represent. The blinds check again for a third time, and I don't think we can win at showdown with just a pair of twos, so let's go for it. There's $200 in the middle, so we go almost half pot and throw out 85. The button folds right away. Alright, that's one. The small blind looks back at his cards, and then returns them to the dealer. That's two. And then the big blind does as well. That's three. Wow, it did work.
King was a good card for me. Whether I hit it or not, yeah.
See, he knows as well as I do it's a good card for the pre-flop aggressor. I told you these players are not the normal fish we've been playing against the last few times we've been here, so we're in for a game. This hand was our first bomb pot of the night. It was a normal double board PLO bomb pot. 5 cards though. Nothing too crazy. We flopped middle set on one board, which gets downgraded, but ended up ribbering a flush on the other, which was good enough for a chop. The following hand, however, is the first all-in of the session. We're in the big blind. There's a $10 button straddle. The small blind first stack folds. We look down at some suited broadways, so we raise things up to $40. It folds to the straddler, and 40 isn't enough for him. He wants to play for more. The amount is 1 1/4. We can 4-bet here some percentage of the time, but we're not really playing too much behind. If we 4-bet, that's really it. No playability. Only going to get called or jammed on by better hands and fold out worse hands, so we just make the call. We're heads up to a flop, and it's not bad. It's 10-7-5 with 2 clubs. A better board, in theory, for us than him, and we have a flush draw, 2 overs, and backdoor straight. Probably going to go with this one, fellas. We check in flow, action on him, expecting a down bet, but instead he bets more than half pot, $165. I was thinking about check raising if he made it less than $100, like 85, 90, but it's bigger than I expected.
That's what she said.
Folding is definitely out of the question, so not much else to do besides call. Off to a turn now. Come on, club or pair, but neither come. It's the ace of diamonds. A much better card for him, in theory, but it gives us a gutter now. So with it being better for him, we check to see what he wants to do, and he decides to fire again, this time for a much smaller sizing, both in general and in relation to the size of the pot. Right away, I'm thinking this is a blocker size bet, and he probably doesn't like that ace, because if he had an ace, I think he'd go much more.
Do you run it twice? Future references? I let anybody choose.
I always let my opponent choose if they want to run it once or twice. If they can't make up their minds, I always run it once. As you can see, he has $320 left, give or take. So if there was a spot to get a fold out of a hand like a 10 or a hand like jacks, this would be it. So we announce all in, and right away he doesn't look happy about it.
Man, you must have got in lucky, bro. But I got too much in there.
As you heard, he said, I think you got lucky, but already had too much money in there. So we did have some fold equity. If the stacks were a little bigger, say it was double the amount behind, we would have gone to fold.
I'm drawing big time. Got there on one, but yeah. I had draws. I mean, I jack or club if my thing's not live, but my king was live too, so 3 kings, 4 jacks, all the clubs. Yeah, that's double digits.
Yeah, but I had you in bad shape.
Of course. Yeah, but even if you have like the overpair on the flop like jacks, my king and queen is live, so I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know that.
And I could have ace king there.
Of course.
Why didn't we just run it once? We went back and forth about how far behind I was, but I had a gutter and my king was still live, not knowing it was live at the time, but we had double-digit outs for sure. Close to 60-40, give or take. I mean, even if he flipped over his hand face up, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm going all in, but no blood was shed on this one. Soon there will be, though, I promise you. This hand I don't get on video. I'm not sure why, but it's against the same player the next hand we're going to go over, so it has some relevancy. We're on the button straddle, and from now on, just assume the straddle is on every hand, mostly for $10, but later on in the night, it gets up to 15 and even 20. We get one limper in the under the gun. That's the player we're talking about. We have king 4 offsuit. We just check our option and go heads up to a flop, and it comes 8-7-4. We both check. The turn is a king, so giving us 2 pair. He leads on this card. We have a solid hand now, and I think these hands are played pretty much straight up by people. He checks, doesn't hit, but hits the king, so he bets. Again, straightforward. But us beating a king now, we decide to raise it up. He takes his time and makes the call. The river is a horrible card. It pairs the board, so we get counterfeited. Just bad, so bad. He assembles some chips and bets out. Not even sure the amount, $100, maybe $110, and we're just forced to fold while he shows king 9 offsuit. Which ticked me off a little, because this player all night was calling all sorts of wild hands, so we would have definitely gotten paid for a decent amount. I honestly got to give him some props though, because he was pulling off some Nick Airball stuff, calling off with 4th pair and being right. Or one of these hands, it was a sick one where he called a huge bet on the river with 2 black kings, and the board was like 4 diamonds on it and even had an ace, and maybe even 4 to a straight, and he still called with 2 black kings, and he was right. We were all in like disbelief, either insane reads by him or he just made a decision before the session saying no one was going to bluff him. But so far in the session, I'm feeling really good about it, knowing where I'm at in these hands, where the players stand, and we're making good reads. And this was the hand piggybacking the last one, same opponent. We look down at king queen suited again, the heart variety this time. We're in the under the gun. The big blind folds out of turn. The small blind calls. We bump things up to $45. The cutoff and the small blind made the call. So we go 3 ways to a flop. And it comes queen 8-2 with 2 spades. A semi-dry board. The small blind checks. We c-bet small, $30. The cutoff disagrees with that amount. He makes it 100 to go. The small blind quickly gets out of the way. We make sure it's just 100 and make the call for $70 more. He can definitely do this with spades or even a smaller queen. But let's see what happens. The worst turn card comes. It's a spade. It's a 5 of spades. We check and flow. We no longer have the betting lead. And he decides to slow down and check back. Maybe he doesn't have the spades or laying the trap with the nuts. I guess we'll have to see. The river is a red 9. We check to him again, hoping he checks back, but he bets same amount as the flop raise, $100. We take a few seconds and toss in a chip for a call. We're just getting a really good price, but he says, just a set. Pocket 2s. What are you going to do running into bottom set while you hit top pair? So we lose that one, but good news, players were adding on more money, so I decided to do as well. You can definitely tell the vibe got a little more serious amongst the group. We're in the game now for $1,300, and in this hand, we're on the button, the $10 straddle. You guys already know. Everyone but the cutoff limps. We're next to act and look down at a beautiful looking hand, ace-queen suited. Definitely gonna put in a raise with all the dead money out there. We make it $65 to go. The small blind cold calls a $65 bet. The big blind folds, and the under the gun decides he woke up with the hand all of a sudden. He limped 3 bets to $255. Very odd, very strange. I think this player is just too good to limp a super strong hand, taking that risk, going multi-way. And we have a solid hand ourselves, blocking big hands he's pretending to have, like aces, queens, ace, king. So when the hijack folds, I don't want to just call and have the small blind call behind. So we 4-bet jam all in, $960 total. Maybe a bit of an overplay, but we really don't want the small blind in there, and we have a really good hand, so that's why we do it. The small blind right away says that's what he was gonna do and folds his cards. The other gun snap calls, which can be good. We wanted to call, but not that fast. I'll just play the clip for you guys so you can see what happens.
Show it for the vlog. Yeah.
No way, I should have called.
Damn, I blocked it.
Should have called.
Oh, this is all good.
We won our pairs. We both won our pairs.
He doesn't want nothing here.
No, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Ooh, bad.
Scooper.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. You got it?
That 10's full, dude. That pocket
10's full?
That pocket 10.
Well, that's what I wanted to get out.
Yeah, you bet me off. Fuck.
Told you the small blind had one of those hands we didn't want in there, and unfortunately the under the gun had big slick. We don't improve on either board and get stacked. Perhaps we gave the under the gun too much credit for being a solid player to limp a monster, and the poker gods just had to give us a pretty hand ourselves. They couldn't have just given us garbage to check our option, cause say we had a shit hand, we check our option and go multi-way, him having black ace king, that hand shrivels up on a 10 high 3 heart flop. I'm just saying, but with all the what ifs and factors that go into this game, results can change based on every single one of those factors. Tough sledding though, down $1,300 early. Time to reach into the bag and pull out some more money, in for another 1,000. This one comes a few orbits later. We're in the hijack. The straddle was not on, surprisingly. A lot of college games were happening, so games and highlights, everyone had their eyes on making bets, but we're in the hijack like I said and look down at more suited broadways. We open to $20. The cutoff right away, cold 3 bets to 80. Action folds to us. And all right, let's battle with the player that limps pocket 10s. We go heads up to a flop, and the flop comes 8-7-5 with 2 spades. I really like this flop. Not only do we have a flush draw, we have 2 overs, the range and nut advantage as the caller of the 3-bet. We can have sets, 2 pairs, straights, which he really shouldn't have. So looking to pile chips in, but as usual, we check to the pre-flop aggressor. The cutoff does make a c-bet and makes it $100, which I figured would happen, but now in my mind, I'm thinking, what is better? Is it to raise now or just smooth call? I think if we had a set or a straight, I know he's drawing dead or close to, so a smooth call is more than likely what I do. Either way, it should look strong in his mind. Because if he had aces, kings, queens, or even jacks, he's not fist pumping about the situation. He doesn't have ace, king, ace, queen of spades because we have those cards. Ace, jack of spades, maybe, but very rare. So I think we can steal this one later on if we happen to miss, or bet for value if we hit. So with almost $400 in the middle, the turn comes another great card for us, bringing in a 4-liner, a 6 of hearts. Now any 9 or 4 make a straight, so all the hands that I mentioned earlier, he's now losing to a lot more of them. So we take the initiative knowing he doesn't have any of that and lead out for half pot, $170. He calls rather quickly, which again brings me to believe he has an overpair. We have almost $600 in our stack, and I think no matter what, if we hit or not, it's going in. So let's just hit so we can breathe. But where are the poker gods tonight? Because we miss again. It's another 8 pairing the board. Damn it. It's never that easy, is it? But have to stick to the plan. We're not a quitter. We take a few breaths and then announce all in, knowing I would do this with a straight, a full house, quads, even a single 8, because I know for a fact he doesn't have any of that. I just know it. So let's see if he's a good enough player and not be an amateur that just can't let go of an overpair when facing a board that's not in his favor. He doesn't snap call, but he does throw in a chip.
You win. Yeah. Guess you can fold an overpair, man.
No, it just didn't put you on any of those cards out there.
4 and 9.
Yeah, 4 and 9 straight.
You wouldn't call 80 without like 2 face cards or at least
Pocket nines.
Yeah, pocket 9s.
That's the only.
Pocket any of those pocket pairs.
Yeah, I knew those pocket pairs.
So I wouldn't call $80 when after I already put in 20 with 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, or 9s, 9-8 suited, 10-9 suited, ace-9 suited. I mean, the hands go on and on. Ace-4 suited. So many hands. I mean, we're probably not cold calling a 3-bet with a smaller pair, but I was the initial aggressor, or initial opener. I don't know, a soul read, I guess, by him, and we get stacked again in less than 30 minutes. This sucks. Why? Why couldn't we just hit a spade? Or a king? Even our king was live, so double-digit outs again that we can not hit. We pull out another grand, and gotta be honest with you guys, if we lose this $1,000, probably gonna have to call it a night. Let's not do that though. Just 2 hands later, we play a dealer change bomb pot. It's only 4-handed. We're in the big blind. The top board comes king 8-6, and the bottom board comes 7-6-5. We look down at our hand and have a pair of 8s, queen 9-2. So we have middle set on one board and the nuts on the other. I'll take it. As you know, in bomb pots though, the nuts change from street to street. So we lead here out for a quarter. The button and small blind come along, which is honestly exactly what we wanted, more than just one other person in the hand. The turns come the jack of clubs and the 3 of diamonds. Still with the nuts on one board and third nuts now on the other, the small blind checks again, and we continue betting, this time for $115. The button next to act doesn't even take a second and jams his entire stack in for around $350. Our mind is already made up, just waiting now on the small blind to make a decision, hoping that he calls so even more money can go in the middle, but he doesn't, he lays it down. The button asks, which board are you playing? I'm like, both. He had a smaller straight with 8-4, so we had that locked, and he had 2 pair and a flush draw on the other, and he misses, so we scoop. Wow, almost forgot what it felt like to collect chips. Feels nice to win this one, and over $800 pot, but barely puts in a dent to the hole we've dug ourselves in. This next hand I want to highlight. A lot of people in the comment section say I have my rules and I just stick with them no matter what. Rules like check and flow or don't limp, but just here to show the set in stone rules are not always set in stone. The big blind limps were in the hijack and look down at Jack 7 suited. We call the $10 straddle as well.
You never do that.
I never
bro.
limp. I have bullets,
What the
guys.
fuck is that,
I have
bro?
bullets.
See, even they know I don't limp. Can never say never though, because it just happened. It happens more than you think, honestly. Just majority of the hands that I show, I don't, which are probably 10 to 15 hands out of a few hundred played in any given session. So a small percentage of hands that you guys actually get to see, but anyway, we limp, the cutoff limps, and the button checks his option, so 4 ways to a flop, and it comes 9-3-2 with 2 hearts. We hit nothing, backdoors, that's really it. Action checks the button, and he senses some weakness, as he should. He bets out $15. The big blind folds, we call for the hell of it, and the cutoff folds, so down to heads up. The turn is another diamond, so I can kind of see the light. There is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel. We check, and he does bet again, this time for $50. I guess it could be worse. We're fishing, so we call, and what do you know, the river, we do hit our flush. We can't let this check through, so what would we do if we missed hearts? We'd make it big. So that's what we do here. We overbet the pot and throw out $250. Hoping he thinks just that we missed the front door flush draw. Perhaps it's exactly what he thought, because he calls right away. We say we have diamonds and take it down. Hey, maybe limping is the way to go after all.
Stop it. Get some help.
And we take it down. It feels good to get lucky for a change and get paid off. We got a little revenge on the hand that he flopped a set on us, give or take the same amount of money. This one, the $15 button straddle is on. We're in the big blind and look down at this beauty. I'm not sure I told you guys, but the 7 deuce game has been on all night and no one up until this point has shown it and won. So we finally see our opportunity to collect $10 from each player. So we raise it up, as I would suggest only way to play the 7 deuce game when you actually have it. We make it $45 to go. It folds to the button, hoping for a walk. That'll be nice. But instead, he jams for around $400. As you guys know, we're down piles, and I kind of feel like gambling. They're suited too, at least. I show my cards and ask him questions like, you want to call? Am I at least live? Because if I'm live, I'm in there. But the way he responded, it didn't seem like I was live. Here, you can listen for yourselves.
Is it live? Show me, and then
You're alive.
live? Like even Diamond's live?
Diamond live, yes. But I don't want you to call because you don't correct.
So I asked, are diamonds live? And he kind of paused, so I wasn't sure if my cards were actually live. He could have had a hand like an overpair or a hand like ace-7, which would have had us in a really bad spot drawing slim. He showed a 7, so we weren't live. What do you guys think of his reasoning? I don't know about you. If I'm ahead like him, I'm wanting to call. I guess a 4 is a pretty low card if that's what he really had. Seems like it, but I don't know. I'm ahead. I'm like, let's get all the money in the middle. It's just numbers, really, at the end of the day. It's just numbers. It would have been nice to see a run out, but we're honestly more concerned about his reasoning and why I would want to call if I was in his shoes. But we didn't see a run out, so we would never have known what would happen. Here's another one. We have 7 deuce, raise pre-flop and get 2 callers. We hit a deuce on the flop, call a $65 lead, but when the turn is another bad card for us, the ace of spades, we have to fold to another bet. Damn it, just once, 7 deuce. It'd be nice to collect just showing down 7 deuce. Every time we've played it, we haven't won with it. Haven't won this night. And like I said, even last time we played it, just haven't caught it or haven't won. Here's a hand where we upgrade to 7-4 of hearts in the big blind. The $15 button straddle is on. We call $10 more, action on the button, and being aggressive, he makes it more, $75 to go. Screw it, right? Maybe we can get lucky. So we call the $60 more. The flop comes and we actually hit a pair, bottom pair. It's a rainbow board, just not any of our suits. We check to the aggressor. He down bets for $40. It's hard to hit a pair in this game, so we come along. We're still ahead of all ace highs. The turn comes, the jack of spades bringing the backdoor flush draw. We check again, probably gonna fold to another bet. But he slows down. Maybe we are ahead, but that all changes when the river comes, the 9 of spades. We have 5th pair on the most connected board possible. We check, and he assembles some chips and makes it the same as pre-flop, $75. Calling is out of the question, but can we raise here as a bluff? I think checking 3 times kind of discredits our story. I don't know, what would we really be representing? And also, I think this player is just too good to fold a hand as weak as a lonely jack. Even if he has ace something with the ace of spades, it wouldn't be surprising to me if he turned that hand into a bluff. So we take our time, go through different scenarios, but ultimately fold and get shown the bad news.
Fellas, pay me up. Pay up, fellas. Pay up.
Are you serious? We can't win with 7 deuce, and now we have to pay up when someone else has it? This honestly blows. Just not our night. Shortly after that hand, 2 players were gonna take off, so we combined with the other table that was also short, but they only wanted to play 1-2 and couldn't convince them otherwise to keep it as a 2-5 game. We play a final hand of 2-5 and have black cards, but the flop is all red and no pairs for us either. And that was all she wrote for our private game. We play 1-2 for the next 4 hours and only managed to win like $59. It was still fun, just BSing, doing random things. I think I opened jam pre-flop with like ace rag, just cause. It was only a few $100s effective, but no one called. I was trying my best to get out of the hole and win back what we lost.
Knew it was gonna happen eventually. I mean, you don't want it to happen, but it had to happen. I mean, pretty big L on tonight's session, and I don't know, like I said, I knew it was gonna happen because, I mean, not tonight, but it's gonna happen. I mean, you're gonna lose. It just all comes full circle. The sun run that we've been having the last, I don't even know how many sessions, a lot of sessions. We've been doing really, really well in Vegas, here, just winning a lot of money, and yeah, it just comes full circle. So we're in for 33 at the max and out for 1195. So a couple $1,000s. I mean, yeah, it sucks. I mean, it was only those 2 hands, I think. I mean, I don't know, when you really look back at everything, it's like, it's never as bad as you think, but it's never as good as you think. So like when you win, you think of all the, like, I did amazing this hand and played so well, and because it works out, you win a lot of money, you know. And when you play bad, you're like, God, I suck, I did this horrible, I did that horrible. But even now, thinking about it and not looking back at the footage of everything, I mean, I played okay. Just those 2 hands, the ace king versus ace queen, got it in pre. I mean, that sucks. I didn't expect him to limp and then raise like that. And I was blocking like premium hands, aces, queens, ace king, ace, you know, ace queen. I don't know. But yeah, that sucked. And then I don't know, that like suicide bluff that I had with missed spades, and I don't know, I'm not a quitter, so I went for it. So take away those 2 hands and we're like even on the session, maybe even a little bit up. So I don't know, it kind of sucks that, I mean, those hands make or break sessions, and they broke this session. But yeah, that's it, and it's already bright. Like, if probably there weren't clouds, the sun will be up. So the last couple vlogs you guys seen, I've said that, like, hey, look, it's gonna be like the sun's coming out after this outro, but like literally the stuff is out. So yeah, late night. And the reason why it's so late, because we played 1-2. This session, the 2-5 session that you guys just saw, ended around 1:30. And there was another table that was playing 1-2, so we kind of brought them over to us. And I didn't film that one, I was just having a good time. We won $53. So that $11.95 that we just kept on the table, we won 53, more than that. So we played for like 5.5 hours of 1-2, just random bomb pots, and we won like $50. So yay, I guess we ended the night, morning on a good note. But it's always good if you woke up and you're breathing, you're above ground. It's a great freaking day. Like, don't ever forget that. But I do appreciate you guys supporting. I think we just hit 3,700 subscribers like tonight, so that's awesome. That's a milestone. Can't wait to get to 4K. So I need your guys' help to do all that. But until then, always remember, I'm Matty Ice. This is Gaines Poker, guys. Peace out. Work out, please.